All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the March. Can you believe it? The March meeting of the DuPage ROSC Council. My name is Jared Burton. I am your DuPage ROSC coordinator. Glad to be here with you on this beautiful afternoon. This is like some of my favorite weather. I think people are miserable in some of it, being out in this, but I love it. So I'm very in my element right now. So glad to be here with you. If you want to put your name and contact info in the chat, if you're here in person, we do have a sign-in sheet, so you can put your info on that, or Annette will bring it around. So yeah, like we said, we're here at beautiful Stonecatchers Counseling in Downers Grove. Great location. We're going to talk in just a little bit about some of the services that they have here, on top of the usual fun at our Ross meeting. So usually is what I do. Annette, you want to come over for a second? All right. Where's the second mic? You got it.
I
Okay.
got it and it's
I
on.
was told earlier today, by the way,
Mhm.
that my icebreakers are not good. And so Annette had brought in a deck of cards that had icebreakers on them. And there was a really good one earlier that I saw. Okay. So the icebreaker for today, and you can raise your digital hand, or if you're here in person, we got a second mic, which is, what is the worst haircut you've ever had? Now, when I was thinking about it, I've avoided thank my parents for this. I've avoided a couple of bad haircuts, so I can tell you about those. When I was a kid, I really wanted a rat tail. Do you guys know what a rat tail is? It's what it sounds like. I wanted one of those, and my parents were like, absolutely not. And so I did not get one of those. And then about a year later, that morphed into I wanted a what is now known as a mullet. It wasn't known as a mullet at the time. I think it was called a like a hockey haircut or something. But very short in the front, long in the back. Not working, not a good haircut. My parents, again, thank you for not letting me get that one. Annette, did you have a bad haircut at some point?
And it's actually a little traumatizing for me when I think about it. When I was younger, I went to Catholic school. I was a big tomboy and I had very long hair. I always had mud in my hair and it was always in knots and I hated brushing it. So one day my mom got really upset and she just put a bowl over my head and she just chopped my hair into like a bowl shape. And I went into kindergarten. I have pictures in kindergarten with it and in first grade. So yeah, very traumatizing.
Oh man, it sounds like it. Is there anybody online that wants to talk about a fun haircut? You can raise your digital hand, or if you're here in
Oh,
person, Casey, I see you raising your hand.
hey, I think you would look really good with a mohawk.
Oh wow, okay. What do you guys
That's
think?
one
Mohawk?
that you haven't tried yet, right?
Yeah, no. I might try that
So
though.
I don't have a bad haircut story, but I used to dye my hair a lot. And one time I tried to dye it blue, but I didn't have like enough stuff or enough
Okay.
lightning stuff. So it wound up like mold green. And
Oh,
so
fun.
I was in school and I was on the cross country team and that became like a nickname for me for a while. So it was not great.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was a good one. Anyone in person? Any other people in person? And we'll ask for some intros in a little bit. So if you want to wait, Mark
Oh
Matthews,
my
this
God.
is the
Hello.
Lived Experience Award winner,
Oh, this is definitely
2025.
going to be some lived experience. So I would say the top three that come to mind, and I'll blast them out. First one was, yeah, crisscross was a thing. They were a hip hop group, and they had braids, so I wanted braids. It was not a good look for me.
I'm coming.
Second one, second one was again, actually, we'll just do this one. So, homecoming day, I had a brilliant idea. I've always had a lot of brilliant ideas, but one was to make my emo dark black.
Ooh,
Except it was not the reaction that my date gave.
okay.
Um, and so frantically, I went to hair salons. If anybody knows when it's the day of winter formal, those are busy places. But I am in there and they are doing everything to fix it. Unfortunately, what that everything consisted of was three different attempts at bleaching my hair. Uh,
Oh,
was not a good thing. And I will say I had an orange hair,
yes.
but it wasn't orange necessarily from the color. It was orange from the scalp bleeding that I was doing that evening. So yeah, that was probably not one of my better looks. If anybody wants that picture, I can send that email.
How did now? Now, what did your
Yeah.
did your date have anything to say about?
There was, yeah, I'll send you the picture. I think it says it all.
Okay.
Yeah. Her reaction kind of, she was not having the time of her life that night. Yeah.
Oh, good call. Good call back. Anybody else here in person want to talk about a fun or bad haircut? I can say you've actually loosened a memory. So, senior year of high school, my parents kind of stopped fighting me on things with certain things, and they were like, "Okay, look, you've been trying to dye your hair these weird colors for months. We're not going to stop you anymore. Go do whatever you want." And so I went and got. Now you mentioned an emo hair, so the jet black thing, right? So I'm like, I got to go black. It matches my demeanor, and then so I had it jet black, and then I had a streak going down the side like this that was like fire engine red. And that was like the first time I dyed. So I went like 0 to 60, like really, really quickly. And then I was done with hair dye after that. I felt like
So
once I was done, it was good.
we have one person here in the
Rosemary,
audience, Rosemary.
I'm gonna tilt the camera.
I
Okay,
was
there we
in
go.
a strict Catholic school growing up, and so I think I'm the oldest one here. And it was in the 70s, and I decided that I would try on one of the habits of the nuns
Mm.
because I just wanted to see. And I got in trouble, and so my punishment was they cut my hair, and it was bad. So that's my bad. It
That is
was.
traumatizing.
And that's why I told my mother and my father, after eighth grade graduation at this school, the goal was that you needed to go to the convent. You needed to go there in the summer and see. And I said, please don't do that to me. Please don't say. And then because I said the F word that my brother had just taught me, they said, no, you are not going.
Well, that was a great one. Yeah, two involuntary, two voluntaries. Well, thank you to everybody who participated in that icebreaker. Some really good ones there. In the interest of time, though, we do want to make sure we start to get into today. I do like to ask, is this anybody's very first ROSC meeting ever? Like, you've never been able to attend a ROSC meeting, virtual, in person, or otherwise? Do you want to introduce our... Oh, and that's probably not true.
That
But do you
was
want
definitely
to
for
introduce
everything.
our guest here?
So I have the pleasure of introducing Rosemary. I am gonna let her do her own intro and just let you know what she's doing in our
Because
community.
there's an event that Annette goes and works both with Rosemary, but also Roger, who's on this call, and some others,
As
and
part of our
Mimi.
church.
Yeah,
So
so there's a few.
my name is Rosemary Brooks from First Congregational United Church of Christ in Downers Grove, right across from the library. And I coordinate and run the community kitchens. And we have a little free pantry. And I love that every other Monday night, Annette and Roger from Hopes for Healing come and our, as I like to call them, our community friends in need love when they see them and come up to them. And so it's a great partnership, and I love it, and I love what I do. It's a passion of mine.
I have a quick question. So, for people who might not know, what are the general things that are available at the community kitchen? So, if I'm somebody, what do I find at the community kitchen?
We're gonna give you a really good warm meal.
Yeah.
And on Monday nights at our church, we have showers. You can come and shower. So and it's one of the busier ones. There's like 5 other places,
Yes.
but I think we get a good 30, 35.
That's a good amount of people.
That is good amount,
Yeah.
and that you'll lose some to maybe DuPage pads, IHC or whatever, and then you're like all of a sudden, okay, well here's the next group. So it never changes.
Yeah.
And that our little free pantry, well, that's what it is. Everything is free in there. It's non-perishable food items, and there's clothings, there's blankets, sleeping bags, and we see a different group, and we've now seen a different group come since the beginning of June.
Wow.
So
Okay.
and we don't ask for any identification or anything. We take your word for both. If you're coming for a dinner, we're assuming you need and if you're coming to our pantry, we're assuming you need to be there.
Beautiful. Well, we're glad to have you at one of these meetings, and that's been going out there. I mean, she's been telling us about these for over a year now, and yeah, it's just part of a huge kind of push to help with the unhoused in DuPage County. We're doing similar things now too.
Well, Annette does a great job. Roger does a great job. Annette, uh,
Rosemary does a great job.
she makes great job. Gets around to the tables and tries to talk to them, and it's sometimes it's very difficult. They don't want to admit their problems, as I'm sure you guys all know, and it makes it really hard. But yeah, she
But a
tries.
lot of the times it's very rewarding.
Good, good.
It's
Good.
very rewarding. You have that one-on-one with just another person. I love to talk to people. So I mean, I enjoy it, and we just talk about their everyday, how they're doing, and that opens up a lot of doors, right? And the most important one is like the connection, right? And the trust.
The trust.
So I really appreciate that Rosemary lets me come into her community kitchen and, lets me help others and support others. Thanks, Rosemary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and get into the housekeeping because we do have a lot to get to in this meeting. So we're going to go over some stuff and hang on one second. All right. Can everybody see this online? Is it? Okay. If you can't, just say verbal because I'm for some reason can't see it. But let's go over actually, you know what? This is why I can't see. I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to reshare it somewhere else because it's not that file. It is this file. Okay, we're good. That's better. Okay, so let's talk about today's agenda. So we're somewhere like about here. We'll get into here shortly. We're going to talk to Annette again here in just a little bit to talk a little bit about what's going on next door in Kane County. I'm also going to talk briefly with Kelsey to talk about what's going on with those project coordinator impact roles that her and Nini, who's also online, have been doing. And those tie into some of the work that Serenity House has been doing with the mobile outreach units. So that's really cool. Our wonderful guests here at Stonecatcher, Sabrina's here, Brenda's here. Like I said, they have fed us, they have treated us wonderfully, and yeah, beautiful facility. And we're looking forward to talking to them about the services they provide here. Like I said, great location. You'll find out all about it coming up. And then we're going to talk at the end with the time we have left about our ROSC 2026 community. Tried to get to that. But sometimes in this meeting, there's a lot we get to, a lot of conversation. So we just weren't able to do it yet, but we're going to get to that at the end of today's meeting. So having said all that, let me go ahead and start sharing some other upcoming things, and then we'll get into some conversations. So first up, next week, our DuPage ROSC presentation series returns. How many people here are familiar with productivity culture or some kind of like over productivity culture? It's pretty popular right now. The idea of like, grinding and, trying to live life at work. And there's all these productivity culture memes that are pretty popular. That can be very serious though. And a lot of times that productivity culture is spurred on and becomes cyclical with stimulants, specifically prescription stimulants like maybe Adderall or things that people are prescribed because of ADHD. But and I know that there's plenty of people who use and abuse stimulants for this reason who are not prescribed them. So we're going to talk about both. We're going to talk about the rise of prescription stimulants like Adderall, but also how we're seeing personally and professionally an increase in stimulants here in DuPage County. If you haven't seen it yet, you may see it soon, but we are seeing more and more. Meth showing up is one of them, but also just use of stimulants in general getting bigger. If you would like to present for one of our presentation series things, just reach out. We're always open to letting people talk for a few minutes, 45 minutes or so, about what you're passionate about. So if you're passionate about something on the continuum, reach out to us. Miss Annette, what's happening with the Kane County ROSC?
Well, we are having our meeting next week, March the 19th from 3 to 4 p.m. We are going to be at the lovely, beautiful city of Sugar Grove. Again, we are highlighting those areas that are, on those borderlines. But we are, we're expecting to talk to Cassie actually, and she's online right now with Cassie Alexander. She'll be talking with us, and we'll be talking to other community members and talking about what's going on in Kane.
I think the important thing too is we talked about. So we were in Elburn last month. But you haven't been to Elburn. beautiful town. But like places like Elburn and Sugar Grove, who are kind of geographically on the far side of the county, who maybe have an inequity of services, or maybe they don't have any services. So we like to go to those places and say, hey, recovery can be out here too, and it is out here. And so what can we do to support that? So join us for that one. It's also a hybrid. If you can't make it in person, you can join online.
Exactly.
All right. So, Kelsey, let's talk to you. And if Nini wants to hop on too, she can. But these two are the ones who have really been helping us spur the donations that Serenity House has been putting on this mobile outreach units, which has been just insanely successful to the point where I turn to these guys and girls every day and say, I feel like we work at a thrift shop at this point, which is a good thing, the amount of donations that are coming in. So, Kelsey, why don't we start with you? So, what has the donation process been like for you guys as you're started to like get it all in? Because it's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff. And first, I just want to say thank you for having us. I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm very grateful to talk about the mobile outreach van. I started here in January. I am hired through AMPAC, which is called Recovery Corps, and I'm currently serving my term at Serenity House. I'm a project coordinator. So, yeah, we've been doing some outreach to community organizations seeking donations. So the donations we're receiving are men and women's clothing, shoes, toiletries, blankets, towels to shower, shower items, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, body wipes, if
Yes.
maybe a shower is not accessible to our
And
unhoused
a lot of times
friends.
they aren't, right?
Yeah.
Things like being able to shower or bathe,
Yeah.
they have to go days and days in between. And so
With
you're right, body wipes is a big part of keeping yourself clean in situations. Yeah.
Huge. And just having those resources available, because obviously, as Rosemary stated, the friends that are coming to us don't have that available. So I do the work of making those types of things available. So I'm stocking our van, and I have feeling like a collection center, but it's super duper rewarding.
Yeah.
I know it's going for a good cause. I know that people are very grateful to have these items. I also want to shout out and thank everybody who has donated
And there's
to us.
quite a few people who have gone above and beyond.
We have the People Resource Center. We have NAMI DuPage. We have Hatch Dispensary.
I know. Think about that, like a dispensary, right? And I'll let Nini talk about that in a second because she spearheaded that first connection with the dispensary. But I just want to say, like, I've just been blown away by how y'all have been able to keep that streamlined. Like, that's a big process, like collecting that much stuff. Because we didn't say this, so the van that Serenity House takes out is out 3 days a week currently. So it's out in Aurora, it's out in Elgin, and then Aurora again on a Saturday, on a Sunday.
Sunday.
So, and that's going to only continue to grow. We kind of announced this a little bit last week, but Serenity House is actually getting a second mobile van, specifically in DuPage.
Yeah.
So, in specific areas of DuPage. So the process that we're doing now will have to continue and actually probably get a little bit bigger until we get both vans set up with all those donations. So I hope we didn't scare you off yet with just one van.
No, I'm very grateful. It's super rewarding, and I'm just super grateful to be a part of this specific project. And I'm putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. It does get overwhelming, but the end result is what makes it worth it. And, these friends of ours are very grateful for what we are offering. We're going through it like crazy.
We are.
A couple things that we're in need of is some men's pants,
Yes.
some body wipes for those who don't have access to a shower or toiletry.
I will say too with the men's pants, we do get occasional requests from people. And
That's
when I say requests, it's people who might be like going to a job interview. They're at Hesed House, but they have a job interview coming up. So I think the
Right.
requests we have right now are like size 38 to 42. There's a couple of men who have a couple larger waist sizes. So
Yeah.
if you have 38 to 42 gently used pants, we're happy to take those. But yeah, socks. And we'll talk too in a minute about how this is going to change. But I want to get Nini on for a second in the interest of time. So Nini, can you hear me or can we hear you?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect.
So Nini is also out there. Oh my goodness, don't tell me I just did that. Let me pull this back up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. Something happened. Where are you? Okay. What did I do? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and reshare. This was like a
Okay.
very weird resharing process. So hang on one second. And you're about to go away again in just a second when I hit where are you? Where are you? Where were you? This is crazy. Did it disappear completely?
Oh my goodness.
Hold on. Oh no, 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 it's not that one. It's not that one. It should say no, not scope of services, not penalty MVT. Okay, look, I don't know where it is right this second. It seems to have gone away forever. So Nini, let's
Okay.
just talk. Let's talk. Talk about
Yep.
your experience with the donation stuff before we get into our guests for today. So thank you for joining us, Nini.
Oh, it's no problem. Thank you all for having me. So as Kelsey and you mentioned, um, we have a relationship with Hatch, and this relationship started during our outreach last year. And so I was visiting, distributing our flyer, and that is how we started the relationship with Hatch. Um, I share information about our work and the purpose behind our donation efforts. And basically, through that conversation, Hatch expressed interest in supporting the community and placing a donation collection box inside for us to collect to support our mobile housing. I'm sorry, our mobile units.
Yes, mobile unit. We have to remember that sometimes, yeah.
Yes,
Outreach mobile unit. It sounds
correct.
very,
Yes.
very clinical, yeah. What's your favorite part been, Nini, of doing this type of work so far?
My favorite part is when I'm doing outreach and I'm talking to people and they're, really appreciative of everything that we do. And it's us who, feel like, we are appreciative that they're even coming out,
Mm,
to us, So that to me is very, very rewarding. And it makes me feel good. Like Kelsey said, we get so many donations. They go so
it's true.
fast, So it's like as fast as we get them, as fast as they go out. So being out there
It's
in
really
the
true.
community, right, and behind the scenes as well, we get to see both sides. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's worth every bit of it.
Amazing. Well, thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get into our hosts, and then I will play around with whatever else flyers we got to do at the end. But I do want to get with our amazing, amazing host for today. So, Sabrina, I'm going to have you come around here. And then there will be some videos and photos being taken. But Sabrina Alpert from Stonecatchers Counseling is here with me. Thank you, A, for having us here. This has been, like I said at the very beginning, we've been, how long? Almost a year? Or is it 8 months we've been out on site, like doing partner sites? I don't know if it's that long, but it's been a while. But this is like one of the best setups we've had. So thank you for being such great hosts. But you're more than just great hosts. I mean, you guys do like a wide range of services here at Stonecatchers. I've been out here to visit. It was like probably last year sometime. And I just remember being blown away by A, like how chill the whole place was, right? Like I walked in and I immediately felt like the warmth of this place. But B, when you started to tell me kind of like the services and your vision for this place, I was like really, really impressed. So we're glad to be here with you. So let's talk. What I mean, why Stonecatchers? What brought you to this practice here? And what is kind of like the mission and vision of this place to you?
Yeah, definitely. So, great question. I grew up actually in Wheaton, and as a person of color, I very much struggled. I was bullied a lot, and counseling wasn't really available or it wasn't encouraged. Like in Indian culture, it was like, no, that's not a thing. So, when I wanted to open a practice, I wanted to come back to the county close to where I like grew up in. And kind of remove the barriers of being able to have people of color that you can sit across from, you can relate to, people who had different language skills. So we speak Urdu, Spanish, Creole,
Yeah.
French. So that way we can serve refugees, BIPOC communities coming
Yeah.
in from other countries. So I really wanted to come back to the space where not only were there not a lot of people of color therapists, but also places were not taking Medicaid. And that was
Yeah.
really like hurt my heart to see. Not only have I been a social worker and worked in nonprofits for majority of my life, but I too have been on Medicaid myself. And trying to find counseling when I was on Medicaid was like calling the rejection hotline, right?
Yeah.
No, 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 no. And I just remember like, I imagine like, what if I was a parent trying to get services for my kid and I'm on the phone and like, no, like your lens starts to become
I'm not worthy of services, right? And kids are seeing that, like growing up, like in nonprofit agencies or county health department where like they're doing great work, but like long wait lists, like sitting in there, like tons of people. And how could we create a space where it was a private practice, it was a beautiful space, and you can walk in and get the same treatment as though you were on Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO.
And I remember when we first talked, well, not first talked, but when I came out here to visit the site, you and I talked at length about Medicaid, and we talked about how the people who sometimes need these services the most weren't able to access them because of the insurance or being underinsured. And we were talking about not just like talk therapy, we were talking about the other range of therapies that people should have access to. So you have some pretty cool things here that you do on site. So what are some of the services that folks can get here at Stonecatchers in Downers Grove?
Yeah, great. So we have EMDR therapists, brain spotting. We have 6 ketamine assisted practitioners too. So if anyone is receiving a type of care, we can provide the therapy services, the integration component of that. Yeah, and then we also have the language barrier services, family therapy, and different things. But mostly we really focus on serving Medicaid population. So 93% of our clients are on Medicaid, and that's really important to us.
For somebody who's maybe not familiar with EMDR, I always mix up 2 of those letters. So if I did, please forgive me. But if somebody is unfamiliar with that, or if somebody who's maybe unfamiliar with like ketamine therapies for therapeutics, why don't you tell people about those 2 if they haven't heard of them yet?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm actually not an EMDR therapist, but so it's an electromagnetic thing. So like I know that it's really great for trauma.
Yes.
So that's a really great form of therapy. Ketamine assisted therapy is really for people who have like not responded to traditional forms of therapy. Something about me is I've been a ketamine patient myself for 8.5 years. So it was life-changing for me. I was actively suicidal and depressed, and I didn't have this practice. I didn't have a child, a family, and like I have all that ever since ketamine. So I did not respond to traditional forms of medication and talk therapy, and ketamine actually just completely changed my life. So we're really
Yeah.
passionate about trying to bring some of these like therapies that can be really, really expensive and hard to access into these lower status communities that typically cannot get it and need it the most.
Amazing. Now you also are very proud of this, and as you should be. You talked a few different times when we got here about, the importance to you of people of color, not only working for Stonecatchers, but also having access to services equally. You have a great staff that is largely POC and women. So again, how important is that to you when building a kind of community like this over here? Talk about the importance of that.
Yeah, it's foundational to us. So this is something that we really need to bring into the community and break free of just like having one standard of care, or we need culturally responsive, anti-racist therapists, right?
Wow.
We need people who have familiarity with being an immigrant, being a refugee. So we have refugees on staff. We have people that have had to flee their home countries, right? We have people who are on DACA here, right? There are dreamers who came here. So this is a sense of relatability when we're dealing with all this stuff in the community and ICE raids, that people want to be have a safe person that they feel like they can talk to, and that person isn't going to report them or invalidate their experience. And most importantly, not pathologize culture, because that happens a lot of times.
Yes. And we, talk about that at our work, at the ROSC, but also at the Coors and the Serenity House, is that, we try and be as culturally competent as we can. But we also I try to step back if it's not helpful for me as a white man to be in a certain situation. Right. And I will still do that sometimes with my staff, because I realize like this looks different from how other people might look. And so I want to be cognizant of that. But you also talked about something, which maybe you guys have been dealing with here, which is kind of having to fight through some Medicaid related stuff. So what's going on with you guys? And maybe is this something that other organizations or other places might have to fight against coming up in the next couple of years?
Yes. So this is a big one that we're dealing with right now. So I have not seen clients in 4 years, because full time I deal with audits and investigations, specifically from Medicaid. So most recently, Meridian Medicaid audited 135 records. They calculated an error rate and statistically extrapolated that to 3,621 records, which they didn't review, and are now coming after us for $413,000, right? So These are amounts that can threaten our sustainability. And we believe that these are unjust and unwarranted ways of being able to shut down Medicaid practices and deter providers from taking Medicaid. So we're looking for reporters, journalists, policy advocates to be able to get in front of the Attorney General, to get in front of the media, to really try to educate the community on these audit practices, right? Because I mean, 135 records to 3,621, like, I don't know what that is, but that is just so unjust. And what's going to happen is that our friends in recovery, coming out of incarceration and coming out of homelessness, coming out of treatment centers and halfway houses, who are on public aid, are not going to have a place to be able to access services, and the entire community is going to suffer from that. We have Molina Medicaid, who has been doing, unjust things too. There's something called prepayment review, which often happens after you fail an audit. So the audit was unsatisfactory results, and they put you on prepayment review, where you have to submit records, and they'll take as long as they want to decide if they're going to pay it or not. Molina did not audit us and put us on prepayment review. So now every single day, they sent a record request asking us to justify every session, and then they're going to decide if they're going to pay or not. And even though we've had multiple denials overturned, they are continuously sending records requests every day. Just today, 2 hours I spent sending in records they've already proven, like, oh, these are qualified services, even for the same clients, right? So these are ways of, and now we are not going to be taking Molina starting next week. And we have always been passionate that we take all Medicaid plans. That is like at the core of our hearts. But like right now,
I remember taking that away from our visit. It's like all Medicaid.
All Medicaid plans. And now for the first time, because we are fighting this Meridian audit and we need all of our resources and legal fees to go towards fighting this because it's threatening our sustainability, now we have to let Molina go. So it's going to be the first time that we're officially letting a Medicaid plan go from all of our practices and not taking it. And that is just like, it's so sad and like heartbreaking to me even to talk about like right now, because that's just not who we are.
Well, yeah. And can I ask just a quick question for somebody who maybe doesn't understand some of the ins and outs? When they do this like extrapolation based on, X amount of Medicaid billings or whatever, is that something that's like newer, that's been like over the past few years, or is this something that's been in place for a while, that's just kind of hard to break out of?
So I have actually never heard of statistical extrapolation until 3 weeks ago when we were served with this notice, which is 3 weeks today, actually.
Wow.
I had never heard of it before. I've talked to numerous people. I've only found 2 people who are aware of this practice. One who is actually our friend Mike, right?
Yeah.
Who has dealt with something similar way back in the day in a different area of law and a different area field. And I met somebody just last week who said they do this in the banking industry. But both people said that they've never really heard of something like such a small number, 135, being applied to so many thousands, right? Like you can calculate an error rate maybe 135 to 1,000, but 3,621, like you're just really like strangling us and putting us in a point like, how do you even fight back, right? And then you start drowning in legal fees and drowning that while you also have these heavy fees that are coming after you. And these are all money that could be going to serve people who have lost their Medicaid, people who don't have it, pro bono services. And instead, we're paying lawyers, basically.
So how do if somebody wants to help like raise awareness or advocacy, like what's the best thing somebody could do right now to like get involved, at least with, is it just awareness that this type of thing is happening?
Yeah, we would like awareness, maybe like a journalist or reporter who's willing to report on this so we can bring this to the community, because if they start using this with other Medicaid practices or even commercial practices, they're going to shut down practices all around the state with using this model, right? Because it's really just a way to recoup more money. We're looking for politicians, things like that, who can actually put bills on the table that can stop these practices. If you've audited 135 records and you decided that you don't like those records, charge us for those records, okay? But don't charge us for a bunch of records that you did not audit. That's just wrong on so many levels.
Part of it too, like with this and some other methods that they use, does feel like kind of war on the poor a little bit, and then but it also feels like maybe it's from the administration or in conjunction with some other things that are happening to where, they're really not allowing folks who maybe have lower income or don't have access to private insurance to not be able to get the same services. And if you're somebody who has treatment-resistant depression to the point where you need a medication or you need, to have electromagnetic, you should be able to have access to those and not have to pay out of your pocket for it.
Right.
Is how we look at it too. So, whatever we can do to keep spreading the word. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about with Stonecatchers, or anything else that you're seeing? Any success stories? Anything you'd like to promote with the few more minutes we have here?
Yeah, I just like to, even though I'm sharing some horror stories, I still really advocate for all providers to take Medicaid. In fact, one of the reasons we get audited so much is because most private practices in DuPage County don't take Medicaid, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's community mental health centers, places like that, which are awesome places. We love them. Private practice settings are different. It's very limited. So when they run billing algorithms, right, it's always like, why is this one space? Like, if we all did it and we were all in it to win it, this wouldn't be happening. Like, we have never been audited by Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO. Why? Because everyone takes it. Like Howard, and even if they did audit, they'd probably say, hey, can you send us 5 records? Because there's just so many providers that take it. So there are strength in numbers. So I still encourage everyone to band together. And if we all take Medicaid and we're all in it together, we can build an army and we can be able to fight this together instead of us being really singled out, really searching for who can possibly help us.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. So I put up here just on the screen for people, just kind of, I mean, this is just a list of some of the things that y'all handle over here. So if you're somebody who struggles with this, you got a friend or family member, this is a great place to send them for services. So what we can do too, if anyone's interested in maybe getting involved with more info about, if they know a journalist or if they would like to just share this information, put your name and info in the chat, and then we can try to connect you if
Awesome.
that's something that we could do. So
Thank
we
you
do have
so
a
much.
question. Yeah, hang on. I'm going to pass this mic around to Mark.
No, well, thank you for everything you've said, and thank you for having us. I can attest to this being a very safe, comfortable place, very welcome and warm and welcoming. As far as, are you currently taking new patients, and do you also offer telehealth?
We are taking new patients and we do offer telehealth. We're a hybrid practice, so we accommodate whatever it is that the works best for the client.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to stop this share for just a second. Any questions online? I see hearts, Dr. Steve. Yeah, we do have some people in the chat. If you do want to have a question for Sabrina, you can just put your digital hand up, and I'll let you hop on. But I did see a couple of comments from people who looked like they were showing some support. Mimi wants to connect with you. Mimi from DuPage Federation. Casey also said if you email her a write-up of what's going on, she can ping it through the email network at College of DuPage and other providers. So yeah, it seems like there's some folks who would like to get engaged. So what I'll do is share their contact info with you, and then yeah, maybe we can kind of get an email chain going of some people who'd be willing to spread the word for this. So
awesome, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions or comments from my online folks before I try to botch a screen share again? That was so embarrassing. Nothing? Nada? Well, listen, you guys have really rolled out the red carpet for us. So again, we appreciate it. We are taking home food, folks. I mean, we got halal catered. And again, Annette brought up a good point, which is, this is International Women's Month, right? So we were so thrilled to be here with a place that puts such a premium on women, especially women of color, right?
Thank you.
So yeah, if that's important to you, this is the place for it out here in Downers Grove. So yeah, I would love to connect you to people. So thank you again, and anything we can do, we'd be thrilled to do that for you.
Awesome, thank
All right.
you.
Let's give it a hand for Stonecatchers, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Now, I'm going to attempt this share again. If it doesn't work, I'm going to send Annette to, I don't know where I'm going to send you. I don't know where I'm going to send you. Oh, there it is. No wonder. Okay. It's acting all wonky. No, wait. It's still not sharing. Hold on. This may be why. But yeah, see, it's not showing. I don't know why. Okay, well then we're gonna talk until I can figure out how this works. Maybe somebody can tell me. I don't know. I don't know. Close all the tabs, sure. Close current tab, sure. I'm gonna stop the share again. Well, the problem is the stuff I want to share is on that tab that I can't share. So in the meantime, I can do something. Hang tight. I'm gonna go over to the internet because I got some stuff I could play, which is even better. So hang on one second. That's somewhere, I promise. It's right here. And then I'm going to go to our Facebook. And then I'm going to share some stuff. Okay, can everybody see this? Can you see this screen? Okay. All right. Scott Kaufman, I saw you on there. Not to put you on the spot, but I might play a couple of these awesome videos out of the BHC. Scott, would you like to introduce maybe what we did with these videos, or how they came about, and then I can intro the actual videos. Is that cool?
Yeah, that sounds great. I hope everybody can hear me. Happy Wednesday
Yes.
afternoon to everyone. Um, I I did just send a text to Jared to this effect, but I cannot believe I am missing the halal catered ROSC meeting.
Yeah,
I'm
I know,
very,
man. I
very,
know.
very upset to be missing it, but happy to be here virtually. So we are at the Behavioral Health Collaborative trying to sort of lower the temperature of discussion about sober living. Jarrett was actually one of the first people to mention it, but if you if you ever look at posts about trying to open up a sober home or news about something to that effect, you'll see some really disgusting comments. And so we
Yes.
are trying to counter that with stories of positivity and stories of people having success at those places. And so that's sort of like the very, very short version. I feel like some people here might have heard me talk about this like 3 or 4 times already. So apologies
It's
if
still
that's
good.
the case. But yeah,
That's
and
great.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a great intro. No, we've done some manner of stigma reduction or education campaign with Scott and with the BHC over the past couple of years. I think year one was the fentanyl awareness. Last year was Annette and Blake in the
Co-current mental health.
and
Yeah.
that was really, really fun. And then this year was sober living, which is like super, super needed, but also just like a topic really special to us. So there's been some cool videos posted so far. So I thought I would play a couple in case people had not seen them yet. And so this first one is actually from a resident at Oxford House. And so when we were like trying to talk to people, we wanted to talk to both like either, you know, a staff member or a client. And sometimes they're both, right? Danielle and I did stuff for Serenity House. We're both former clients, but we're both staff. So this is a woman named Cindy who is at a local Oxford house, and we're going to watch this video. Now, the other thing I want to make sure we're hearing that.
I'd say what led me to sober living is just being exhausted of living the way that I was living. I went to so many rehabs, and I'm not joking at all, I'm not exaggerating. I went to 35 rehabs. Nothing was working for me. That's insanity at its finest. And I didn't want to live just to survive. I was miserable, I was in pain, I was shameful, and that doesn't feel good. So actually I was homeless, and I was in a homeless shelter out in Aurora, and there were some people that came in to do a presentation, and I'd never heard of it before. And they were just talking about Oxford and the basic requirements to live there, and I was interested, and they're like, well, just go into treatment and we'll see you when you come out. And they interviewed me, and while I was in treatment for the 35th time. I had no hope whatsoever. I didn't think it was gonna work, and I honestly wanted nothing to do with recovery. I just didn't want to be homeless at the time. But once I was accepted and I was welcomed as if I was family, and not even like a stranger, I felt something I'd never felt before. I'm like, okay, I like this. I want this. I would say the changes are that I'm unbecoming who I was never meant to be. And that's when I'm starting to, like I said earlier, learning who I really am. I'm finding my authentic version of who I was born to be. And so I'm starting to unlearn habits that I've had for so many years. It's gonna sound a little wild, but learning self-reliance, becoming independent. Because before I first came in here, I was homeless. I barely knew how to tie my own shoe. I didn't know how to cook. And now I cook at a restaurant today. I'm finding out different things I love all the time. I felt like I was part of a family because I really didn't have much of a family outside of here. I finally have somebody that I can lean on, somebody who I can trust and talk to when I'm not feeling the greatest. Everyone has an equal voice, which is the cool part about it, because even the president, they're not better than anyone else here. We need to be able to work together as a team so we won't sink. There's not one person that's more important than the other. So that's what I like about it, is that we all have to work together to build this common bond.
That's a pretty amazing one. Oxford House has done pretty amazing work over the past couple of years in DuPage County, making inroads and opening a bunch of houses. If you're unfamiliar, AJ and Brianna, who does work in DuPage and surrounding areas, has done amazing work to open up more and more houses to where, we had nowhere near this many choices of sober living a few years ago. So to see that was really, really cool. Annette made me do this next one, but I can't introduce my own self-promotion, so
Introduce
she
you.
said she needed to do
So
it.
yes, I had to twist his arm because he's very modest. Everyone that knows Jared is very, we all know that he does tremendous work and he is, just the biggest advocate, and he doesn't like, to be the face, and he doesn't like to be recognized, but he did an amazing job working on, and in this video. You did. And, he's just very inspiring. So I welcome everyone to join me in watching Jared's journey.
And I will say this too, real quickly, Danielle will also be in one, and she's going to be better than mine. So we'll compare the two later, but yeah.
For the better part of 15 years, on and off, I'd struggled with substance use challenges, specifically opioids. And that lifestyle and that use actually brought me to the point where I was unsheltered and all the kind of terrible things that entailed. I had tried residential treatment before, usually sometimes like those could be 28 days, sometimes shorter. Rarely are they longer. I found one that was willing to take me on for 90 days. And I needed something that long. 28 days is not going to cut it. 28 days is not enough to cut it for most people. It definitely wasn't for me. And so I found a 90-day treatment center that would let me stay residential. And it was there that I started to hear suggestions about maybe looking at sober living apartments or halfway house living when I left. And I really started to give that thought, and I hadn't tried those before. But I was really craving kind of like the structure of what a long-term stay at one of these types of places was giving me. Because when you're unsheltered or you're living that lifestyle for a certain period of time, you have no structure at all. And so I was kind of craving that safety of that structure. I think the thing that had kept me from maybe wanting to explore sober living previously was mostly misconceptions I had. I had heard horror stories about certain types of houses. And so when I was given a suggestion to come look at Serenity House in Addison, I was very hesitant at first because I had those misconceptions. What it took was me coming here for an orientation. I came here, and I remember turning to the couple of people I was with who came with me from the treatment center and saying, "Are you sure this is the place?" Because it was not what I expected at all. This was an incredibly clean, very, very nice campus, and it really is a campus where we are here at Serenity House. People at multiple stages of the recovery, but the kind of unifying thing was all people who were kind of coming together for that one cause, which was to get better. What surprised me was just being in a safe, supportive environment with 31 other men. Having that support around me was like crucial. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have that many people around me at that point in time. I was very much an isolator. So to come to a place like this doesn't feel as natural to someone like me, but sometimes we have to lean into feeling uncomfortable, and that's what I did when I got here. One of my favorite things about living here was getting leadership opportunities. And they'll say like, well, what are you talking about? For me, it was as easy as like putting me in the charge of a chore crew, because up until that point, I had no responsibility at all. So overseeing a chore crew of 6 people cleaning might seem small to some people, but someone like me, it was a big deal. And so then I learned that people trusted me in those positions. So I was offered more and more, and I realized that where I thought I was not good at leadership at all, that I was capable of doing it. I just needed the opportunity to do it. But I will say, as somebody who is in recovery himself, we only have so many do-overs, right? We only have so many times we can start over. And if you're getting to that point where you're just tired of starting over and hitting the wall time and time again, maybe you should think about sober living. Maybe you should think about listening to those suggestions about your aftercare.
Okay, so There's going to be more. So, thank you. There's going to be some more of these short forms that'll be coming out. And then what we're really excited about is hopefully, like in the next few weeks, there'll be like a longer form video that hopefully be, not like feature length, but like longer. And I would love Scott and I and some others in the BHC have talked about maybe doing like a online premiere, where like we're all in a room, kind of like with a premiere watch party.
Yes.
Yeah, they're telling, I mean, I'm not with what the kids are cool with, so I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. An online watch party on TikTok. Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, so there's gonna be a lot more of that coming out, which is great. I can tell you, this is not something that happens overnight, right? Like this topic is something that, we've been talking about through the BHC the better part of a year, longer than that, because we've had to kind of put this into practice too. And it has just gotten even more of a need for sober living. The stigmas around sober living in DuPage County, we're slowly making progress, but there's still some really, really bad misconceptions, A, and B, there's some terrible stigmas around people who are trying to recover and are trying to recover in sober living homes. I myself am someone who've gone up in front of city councils. I've gone up in front of chambers of commerce. I don't normally tell them until the end that I'm someone in recovery, because sometimes that's when you see the real person, right? And some of the things that there's been some really, really supportive people who have gone out of their way to, advocate for us. But then been some people who've called us some names that I was like, where does this come from? Like, so like you can think that you've done all of this work and on yourself and other things, but sometimes all it takes is that one word that you get called, right? Or that one, whatever it is people think about us that will keep people from not only attempting to go to sober living, but open new sober living homes. There's only, like we said, there's Oxford House, some private homes, and Serenity House, and that's kind of DuPage right now, and there's more and more opening up, but the need far outweighs what's actually there right now. So yeah, if you see these videos, please share them. I think that's the other big point is maybe there's somebody watching these who like has never heard of sober living before, or all they have is a misconception of it being like what do we hear sometimes? It's a flop house or
house.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a drug dealer's heaven.
There's parties there, and you almost want to tell them like, no, quite the opposite actually. Right? We're not going to party at all. Yeah. So it's been a really gratifying campaign. If you do see these videos, please feel free to share them, and then be on the lookout for the next one down the line at some point.
Continue to highlight them.
We will. We most certainly will. Since Adobe doesn't seem to want to work, I'm going to share some stuff on the Facebook, which we were going to share before. But let's see if I can get to them. Now, look, this is Nini, like we said, with some of the awesome donations. This is from Hatch Dispensary. Now, guys, that might not seem like a big deal to some people. If you are someone who's been around in this field as the dispensaries have started to come in, to now see them want to be civic partners, at least by, donating stuff to treatment centers and sober living, pretty cool. And Hatch actually has come through with some really, really cool stuff, tons of stuff. So Nini did a great job, as did Kelsey, in getting some of those. Hey, here's some stuff coming up. Addison Township does have a community mental health needs survey happening right now. I know we're about to hit the point where people might be going through survey fatigue. It happens year to year. But guess what? The only way things change is through survey data to start anyways. So if you're in the Addison Township area, you're a resident, take this and try to get some new services in, or at the very least, get some numbers in front of people. We already talked about this. We expect to see you next week, 3 to 4 at Sugar Grove Library. You guys missed game night. Sorry. Oh, this was the one coming up. You may or may not be familiar with the our great friend, Bruce, who does stuff through Chicago Consciousness Cafe, but also College of DuPage, and Cheryl Cryer, who owns a great store out in Batavia called Urban Apothecary. We have been doing a series of presentations and conversations with kind of like thought leaders in the psychedelic therapeutic world. So, what did we do so far? We did Tom Roberts, who is one of the forefathers of microdosing for therapeutics. A lot of like trauma or therapeutic resistant trauma.
Yes.
We never look at it as a first option. Let's jump to therapy or psychedelics, but we do like to say this is a multiple pathways approach to this thing. So the Midhoffers, Michael and Ann Midhoffer, are again two pioneers in some of the uh, MDMA for assisted therapeutics. If you're not familiar with MDMA, you may have heard it called ecstasy or Molly. It is actually something that is used in therapeutics, and these two folks here, Michael and Ann Mithofer, were pioneers in that. So they're going to be joining us on Thursday, April 9th. These are always on Zoom or at Urban Apothecary out in Batavia, so you can come out and see us. Annette and I will be there, as we usually are. And it's a great store. If you have not gone out to Urban Apothecary, Cheryl's awesome, and it's a really, really great shop. So that's about all I have to promote. But I do like to spend about the last 4 or 5 minutes to open it up for all of our friends if they have things they would like to share. Upcoming meetings, programs, projects, collaboration needs. Mimi, do you still have your survey going right now? Was that one of the things we needed to share
I
too?
absolutely do, and I can put the QR code in the chat if you'd like, or the flyer.
I would love that. And then can we explain it a little bit? So what you're
Yeah,
working on right
absolutely.
now,
We
with that
are
survey and
doing a
with the,
survey of employers in the Northern Illinois region, so you don't even have to be DuPage only. We're really trying to reach employers to understand what recovery-friendly practices they have in place right now or don't have. And then also what kind of supports they would need to become more recovery ready. So those are kind of the two major things we're trying to figure out. We're trying to get to about 40, we'll always take more, employers. We're almost halfway there.
And we went out with Mimi and Scott and a couple people out at the the Wheaton Library last month, and we had a good conversation, good starter conversation. But if your city, your township, your whatever you're a part of is interested in helping with the recovery ready workforce stuff, that's only going to continue and get bigger over the next couple of years. I think the employment piece of the recovery world is a part that we work in, but it's only going to get bigger. So come out and see those events if we're out at the library or somewhere else, because it's a really, really important topic. So any other promotions, guys? We got about 3 minutes. You can raise your little digital hands or just come off mute. Or if you're here in the room, we can give you the Price is Right microphone. We'll go around with the nets.
Well, just an FYI, for our members here who have services out of King County, we do have a drop-in service on Tuesdays from 12 to 2. That is at Serenity House's Geneva office. If you need any further information, we do have a flyer, but you can also contact me directly.
There's also, there is a flyer too, but I screwed it up somehow. There's a flyer for what is it tomorrow night? It's the Walters group.
Oh, actually, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So tomorrow night out of King County, we will start our reentry
Fellowship group.
fellowship group. And so that will be also at our Geneva office, and that will be from
7 to 8,
7
to 8:30.
Yeah, 7 to 8:30.
So that's kind of like a non-program specific recovery meeting for people who are formerly incarcerated or who are trying to re-enter from any type of institutionalization. We really want to make it like a soft landing place for people who are getting out. So if you're interested in that, it's a very, very safe place for it. Any other promotions in the room or online? I see Casey raise her hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have probably enough time to go into a lot of detail
That's okay.
about what I'm doing, but I am creating an alumni network for peer professionals. And one major thing that I'm doing is creating a shared calendar that everybody can add their events to.
Awesome.
So I can put that link down here so that
That'd be
way we
great.
can kind of source information in one place if you're interested.
I like that. Yeah. Put it in the chat.
Yes,
And then
thank you for sharing that.
So I'll put the flyer in the chat, and then you have to download the flyer in order for the link to work to the calendar. If that's okay.
I gotcha. Yeah, thanks, Casey. Marissa, I see your hand up.
Hello. Over here at Omni, we are gearing up for Drug Take Back Day on April 25th. So I'm going to be sharing a link in the chat to our store. We can actually ship things. Everything is for free. We'll ship it to you for free. So it just includes different promotional materials, stickers, prescription bottle lock caps, as well as Datura pouches for disposal. So if that is something you're interested in or anyone in your community might be interested in, it's free, which is everybody's favorite word.
Yeah, we love free. Yeah, we'll be reaching out. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Anybody else? We got about, well, we're at 4. Going once, going twice. Hey, can we give it up for Stonecatchers Counseling, please?
That's it for Stonecatcher. And also, let's give it out to all our colleagues out
Yeah,
there, all
all
the
our people here
women,
in person,
all the
all the
women,
women from
especially
Field.
during this month. We appreciate all your service as always.
Yes, we do. And yeah, we will be back next month and go out to King County next week at the Sugar Grove Library on
Please.
Thursday. We'll be there. And
We might not have like the spread of food that we had today, because, we don't have
we're
that type
very,
of
very,
funding,
yeah.
but we do have good snacks. We always
good
do have
snacks.
snacks and we leave them behind. So
Or come see the Serenity House van when they have it out there on Wednesdays and Thursdays. We're always taking donations, so thank you for that. And yeah, we will let you get about your day. Thank you again, everybody. Keep recovering out there. All right, we'll see you. Hey, before you go, I'm gonna embarrass her briefly. Say happy birthday to Annette, everybody.
Happy birthday, Annette.
thank you guys.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
Annette.
Annette. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you. All right, speech.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone. Thank
She's
you.
24 now. Yes. Hey. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. We'll see you at the next one. Bye, y'all.